Greetings, I am Mariko Bennett and welcome to Dreaming with Intention. This is a space where your dreams are nurtured, intentions are set, and purposeful action turns visions into reality. Each week, we're going to dive into personal development, spiritual growth, and practical advice to help you to manifest the life that you have always envisioned for yourself. So grab your notebook, settle in, and let's blueprint your dreams together. Welcome to Dreaming with Intention. Now let's get started. All right, so I am so excited because I am joined by Reggie Grier, but I call you Reggie. Is that okay for today? All right, excellent. And Noochie.
What's going on?
Welcome to the set. I'm really excited to have you. And I'm super excited about the title. So I got to read this for everyone to understand. The mastery behind the music. Short and long-term goal setting. And so I'm really excited to jump in and have the conversation about it. Because as I walked today here, I was like, man, people, they love the glory, but they don't really understand the story. And so I'm really excited to talk to you all today about mastery in this music space, and then really hearing the story to how a lot of folks see you show up online to the glory. So I'm excited to have this conversation. And with that, welcome.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for being with us. So we're going to talk about visions from the front porch. And I want some background first. Like, I'm always asking people, like, who are you? And they made us be quiet on set, as y'all know. And so we were getting into, like, where you from, where you grow up, that kind of thing. And I always like people to understand, like, who people are, you know, because I think that shapes how we approach the world, how we see the world, and what we do to make the world a better place. And so can you talk to us a little bit about where your artistic journey began and some of your earliest memories? And that's a question for both of y'all. Noochie, you up?
Oh yeah, well that just sounds like a long answer.
Uh-oh. Tell us. We're curious.
Well, yeah, I grew up in, my dad was an artist, and I kind of grew up in the studio. I grew up in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. I was exposed to go-go music, exposed to old school R&B, soul music, funk from my grandma and my mother. I was exposed to it early. I remember finding Outkast CDs laying around with the naked girl on there. I remember seeing Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style CDs. I just remember just being exposed to the culture. So I kind of always been a fan of it since a kid. And once I got old enough to like express myself in the mediums that made sense for me, like people took a liking to it, and that kind of made me lean into it. And like my dad was supportive of it, and that kind of all I needed, like, was just somebody to be like, nah, that's good. And I feel comfortable working on it more and going further to where we are now, to where it's like I'm able to help get that same feeling that everybody gave to me to everybody else. Like, that's pretty much my whole thing with music, even like just on an artist level, is making people feel how I felt when I wrote whatever song or whatever piece of work you're looking at that I worked on, is to make you feel whatever the intent was. There's always some type of intent behind it, or even if it's not like something super deep, it's just the intent of having fun or being free and not caring and not being intentful. Like, it's always something. But yeah, that's kind of the short version of.
That's the short version of forever. All right. And what about you, Reggie?
Wow. I grew up in audio video. I grew up around artists. I grew up, my brother was a manager of a go-go band. So I was going to go-go's when I was 11 and 12 years old. My dad was a DJ. My uncle was a DJ. One of my uncles is a graphic designer. Several of my uncles own their own businesses. So there's always been this mix of creativity and professional logistics that have been married into my character, into my upbringing. I was around understanding what payroll was and purchase orders and petty cash, but I also had my uncle's has worked that's in the National Gallery of Art, and he did logical expression and design, one of the first black-owned graphics companies in DC. So that I always liked to write. So at one point in time, I was really considering being an artist myself, and that's what inspired me to like get the equipment, learn how to do it myself instead of, because it's like Nooch said, you want to have someone that believes in you, but then there's a time when it's like you don't have the people that believe in you. So it's like, all right, bet. So if you don't believe me, I believe in myself. I'm gonna go out there, get the keyboard, and learn how to work it, and learn how to make my own beats, learn how to record myself. And I think that that's what sparked my interest, from a creative side, to invest in myself professionally and let the two kind of grow and mature equally.
Yeah, belief in self is really important. It's part of my mantra because I believe in me. And sometimes you got to believe in you when others around you don't even understand your vision. Because vision is given to you and you alone. It's in your heart, it's in your head. But you got to believe it first. You got to see it and then believe it. Okay, so I love that. So I feel like we can progress into Front Porch, right? So you got your Front Porch swag on here today. Got a sign in the back. So tell us a little bit about Front Porch. So tell us more and tell us about specifically the vision for Front Porch. Like, what did you see when you got started? Like, how are you manifesting that vision that you had for Front Porch, and have we fully manifested that vision and that dream that you had for Front Porch?
Well, I mean, it pretty much started with kind of what Reggie was just touching on last about people not necessarily believing in it, but I started the Porch when I was signed with Atlantic Records. This was like 2017, 2018, and I was in the process of leaving, and I didn't know who was going to own the music, like if I was successful at that moment, just because I didn't really like how the situation was going. I wasn't really getting like the communication back from the label. Like, it just wasn't what it was supposed to be. So, and they wasn't really utilizing me anyway, so it was kind of like an amicable split, but and during the process, I'm like, I gotta do something for people to still, you know what I'm saying, feel me. And I literally just went out on my porch with my phone and a speaker beside me and just started freestyling to like industry beats, because I was like, I don't even want a producer to be able to come back. Like, I just want something that people just share and enjoy and tell you, hey, this guy's good. Like, you heard of him? Like, that's it. That's all I wanted. And I just kept doing that. Like, just because I'm like, okay, I'm just make sure whichever one I do is better than the last one, because that's how people's going to keep people talking. I'm looking at the numbers like, as long as it's like one more than the last one, then I did what I was supposed to do. Or like somebody in the comments say, this is the best one. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. And then, so I kind of did that for about like 2018 to, we started the way we shoot it now in 23. And we started it like that in 23. So I was doing that just with my phone and speakers beside me for like years, and just trying to be heard and making progress, but not really knowing what I'm doing at the same time. Like, I know what I'm doing, but I'm like not knowing that it's like building this like this
Community.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always wanted to know like what my thing was gonna be. Like, I'm growing up, my dad's an artist. Like, I was automatically a part of Oi Boys. Like, I was born into One Way family. People say Oi. Like, I'm already indoctored into a thing that's in DC already. So it's like, me being as creative as I am, I always wonder like I'm a part of this, but like this ain't my thing. Like, I need something that's my thing. And I always thought of that like subconsciously. Never really actively worked on it, but like just always something I thought of. And then like to now, it's like the vision outside of being heard was always like to have my own thing, like, and it not really be my own thing, but just something for people to embrace that, you know what I'm saying, came from my brain, or like, you know what I'm saying, just the work ethic I was putting in. And even to the point where it's like, it go from me just rapping by myself on the porch to it's like a 20-man crew down sometimes getting this done, or going to productions, getting these A-list artists to come to the crib now, from just you having the audacity to get up there and go rap and just post it, and like just my face and like spitting and like all type of stuff. Like, Like it feel like it's supposed to happen. To be honest, like because it's like you been focusing on this, all this music, all this stuff. Like you such a fan, you embrace all this. You know what I'm saying, for your people. You did all these things. You didn't all the jobs you done had for this, all the prepping, like everything has been for this. So it's like, and it's like I get to think, all right, what's this for?
You worked for it. You deserve it.
No, I'm saying like, what's this for? If all that stuff was for this, what's this for?
Like, I don't know. It's a whole platform. It's a whole community you building. But you talked about music and how it makes people feel. You talked about that. What they take away from it. You know.
No, I'm saying like in the grand scheme of all these things that I've been through up until this point, got me to this.
Yeah.
What is this preparing me for?
I
What
don't know
points?
What you see?
I don't know. I'm just saying that's the excitement. That's the excitement.
That
about
is
me.
exciting.
I always embrace the question mark. I love not knowing. I don't know. I enjoy going into something about to learn or about to be put on, or like just like when you get on an airplane, you don't know what's about to happen.
I'm hoping I make it to my destination. That's what I'm hoping for. That's the vision I have when I get on the airplane. Okay, Reggie, what you got? Tell me about Front Porch. Tell me about the vision for it. Tell me about how you got involved in it.
So I have, amongst the many, I tell people I've lived 1,000 lives. I have a significant background in information technology, significant background in live events, audio, video, production, and engineering, and things of that nature. So we have a mutual friend, Ryan Adams. He's the one that taught me how to engineer and everything. So Noochie been going to Ryan's studio, and we had crossed paths several times. So I had the opportunity to do a thing with DC Lottery where we were talking about the neighborhoods and the community, and I wanted it to be very authentic. And I saw it. My thing is I'm always looking to put somebody on. So if I know somebody that represents what the culture is, especially DC, I rep it everywhere I go, anywhere I go. So, you know, Noochie and I had got in touch with each other, and I got him on the commercial, and just his aura as a person was like, all right, this, you know, he's a little younger than me, but I seen the maturity and the vision and the seriousness that he took in whatever it is he was doing. So I was like, all right, bet. So we started to, you know, create our own, you know, bond. And I was like, hey, I'm doing this film stuff. If you want to see what it's like on set and do it, you know, see how the TV and movie stuff works, he jumped on it, and we've been rocking and rolling ever since. And it's like a dope artist. Like, you know, I think the one thing I always want is I never want people to forget that he is an amazing artist first. So when I saw that the trajectory he was going, and I was like, hey, you know, we can do a concert, because we did locations together, locations management for a lot of movies. We worked with Denzel and Woody Harrelson and HBO and all these different people and all this different stuff. I was like, man, you know, I can get the permits. We can literally throw a concert anywhere. And then he was doing his iteration of the Front Porch at that time. And then our guy Tyler came and said, hey, let's add production value. And then I was like, well, hey, I got the equipment, the audio equipment, let's just add to it. So I think it was just like, it starts with a mutual respect for one another, for the people that you're working with. And it also, for me, it's just moving with purpose. Like Nooch said, embracing the question mark and not knowing, and being comfortable not knowing where it's going to lead to, but know that you're investing into it. So I think that's just been the organic and natural progression of the Front Porch getting us the way it is first of all putting God at the top of how I move, period, and just seeing purpose in how I'm moving, and then being around people that you respect and that you feel respected by, and then continuing to invest in that and all of that and all of those different pieces, because maturity isn't a one thing, it's several different categories that we all mature in. So just always investing and pushing up every part of your being to get to where you are. And I think that that's the growth that people have seen in the Front Porch in this iteration now over the last 2 years. Is just continuing to reinvest in that movement.
So I'm gonna go off script because that's what I do, and so but I'm really curious. So when we talk about mastery, right? For me, whenever I've tried to master something, it has not always growth. I find hurts sometimes. Like there's challenges along the way because there was something that in this growth phase when I'm trying to master something, I'm learning as I'm growing, right? And eventually I'm a master, but I've got to go through the challenges. I've got to go through all of the different things that it takes. So I'm hearing many years of this work. I'm hearing many partners coming in, emerging all of this amazing talent. And I think a lot of times people see, again, this beautiful, glorious story, right? They see the 1 million followers. They see the A-list folks that you're able to secure to get to come to the Front Porch. But I think people don't put enough, we don't tell enough the challenges and what it took us to grow and the sometimes the pain that it takes to grow. So were there any challenges along the way that you had to push through to make Front Porch what it is today? And then talk about maybe some of the current challenges with Front Porch. We've had some really intentional conversations about growth of the Front Porch and where you want to go and what you're trying to do. Can we talk a little bit about challenges, how folks can help, how folks can get involved?
We don't really want nobody else involved.
I thought y'all wanted some sponsors. I thought you wanted some partners. Wait a minute.
Okay, that's what I'm talking.
That's where I was going. That's where I was going. I'm always going to that.
Right.
So that's the part.
I thought you were talking about on set.
No. I said we had some intentional backroom conversations, but let's talk about talk to me about getting Front Porch to where it is today, challenges that you've had to face, that you had to push through to get it to where it is today. Because I think people need to hear that. It's important. Sure. Yeah. And then let's talk about how people can get involved. The people you want involved.
For sure. Yeah. we just real tight knit. Like we like this, and that's one of the main.
You gotta be.
And I say that is one of the challenges, even with that's one of the main challenges, is finding the right people to build with. Because like for some magical way, we have all been able to come together and do this thing with like lack of funding. You know what I'm saying? Throughout, like we didn't care about if people was giving us money to do this. We was like, no, we all believe in this. This is something that we all have faith in. We all are professional in our field. We all have done this on a professional level for somebody else. Let's do this for ourselves and see where it takes us. And that's where the main challenge is getting people to understand that, because like even there's a lot of moving pieces. We got musicians, we got videographers, we got audio, we got management, we got hospitality, we got food, we got security, there's a lot of things involved with, like, this is an actual production. We have call sheets just like anybody else. We have tech ride. We have everything that all these other productions have, but it's literally just us. So these are. Thank goodness for your tech people,
because the tech riders can look crazy sometimes. Sure.
Just the bandwidth.
Yes.
The bandwidth of what we got. You know what I'm saying? Kind of growing, but your equipment got to, once your brand grows, like your equipment got to grow. Your departments have to grow. Your needs as a whole kind of grow, because now you're entering in. Okay, this was just to be heard for fun, to not monetize. Like, that was the goal, that was my goal at first, was to not monetize.
Oh, okay.
Because I was I was in a process, I was in a position where if I monetized, somebody else would benefit from it that wasn't doing nothing. So the goal was to not monetize, but be heard and get notoriety, to where now the coin is flipped to where it's like, there's a lot of people to feed now. There's a lot of people that can be fed off of this. So that is the goal, to monetize.
Oh, yeah, listen, it's something to feed people.
For sure.
It's something to feed people.
But the goals, you know what I'm saying, it's just sometimes like you have to break down to that mindset of it's not to monetize right now. is to work and to build and to grow it to where it's like, okay, now we have these things and it is tomorrow. And this is something that you could plan for in the beginning, or, you know what I'm saying, kind of put some type of timeline out. But like I said, we embracing the question mark. We don't know what's about to happen all the time. We don't know. We don't know that certain people are going to come in and make themselves chairman of stuff and affect your show. You don't know that. You don't know these things are going to happen, but you know that the bond that you build with the people that follow you. You know the integrity that you move with as a group, as an entity, and as, you know, a brand. So I think the challenge is back to the question mark. Again, just the same thing is the same thing that we embrace is also the challenge too. So,
Reggie,
not knowing.
Tell us what have been the areas of growth, challenges that you faced along this journey. How did you overcome those struggles?
I think the good Lord prepared me for my whole life, just because working in major productions, like, shout out to Carol Fleischer, that's my OG in the film industry. She's the queen of film in DC, and I had the interesting beginning in the film industry at a very high level. Like, I was doing movies and major TV shows and with major corporations when I started in the film industry. And the one thing that always stuck out to me is that I'm literally handling millions of dollars worth of time. So logistics is always a big deal. Understanding that my decisions have to be for the greater good of the group. You know what I mean? Understanding that we can't just quickly turn things. You always got to be thinking about what's coming, what's going on, and what do we have to clean up from before. So you got your pre-production, the production, the post-production, and always thinking in that mindset of what are we gonna run into, and just having experience, being exposed. Like, I think that's one of the things also that sets people like Noochie and myself apart, being exposed to different things. And I'm sure, like, seeing the challenges that his dad went through with their group of people, and like, the people can be a challenge as well. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest, not only are we managing jobs or roles in this entity, but we're managing what people may personally have going on in their own lives, and just how they feel that day.
I just had a conversation about that,
literally
today in the back room.
And I think at the end of the day is being able to see above that, because great leadership sometimes is having the wherewithal to move forward, knowing that everybody is not going to see it in that moment, but just giving them the grace to have that aha moment and be like, oh, now I understand why you wasn't feeding into this one thing, because you're trying to get to that next thing.
Always.
And that's that.
We got mouths to feed.
We got mouths to feed, and also everybody doesn't have the exposure to see what the next step is going to be.
They don't.
And then there's always the question mark. You can know everything in the world. That don't mean it's going to go that way.
I know. I guess I'm going to have to start using this question mark. And when my team, y'all get used to this, because going forward, I'm going to be like, question mark. I don't know. Y'all question mark.
That's why I'm
Embrace the question mark. That's what you said, right?
Well, I was saying that's why I make songs, because you make stuff that people want to say over and over again. It's part of it.
Okay. I love it. All right. So we're going to jump into pursuits of purpose and personal growth. And so I want to talk a little bit of how you balance your need for immediate results with the dedication to stay committed to launching the Front Porch Freestyles, to, determining who your sponsors and partners will be, to growing globally. Like, how do you manage because I think people always want, like, it to happen tomorrow. But we talked about the many years that you've put into this and the work over time, right? And then the partners that have come along to continue to build it. So how do you balance the need for that immediate success with all the growth that you have going on, that you have now and that you want in the future?
That's a good question. I feel like just always goes back to your mindset and what you okay with. And it's like going to the gym or eating. And if I go to the gym today, I might be sore or tired or might feel like I got some gain or like something happened. But if I don't go tomorrow or the day after that or the day after that or the day after that, I'm going to be looking like worse than before I went that first time. So I feel like that's just always been my mindset is just to keep like chipping away at it until something happens. And something's always going to, as long as you put an effort to it, something's going to happen. This goes back to my mindset of working like regular jobs for people and not having like control of how far you really go. So I'm going to work somewhere I don't want to go, early, a time I don't want to be there, doing something I don't want to do for somebody I don't even really like that, but I'm doing it good enough for me to get promoted, to get a better position in this same company that I don't even want to be at. So it's like, if I could focus that, work at like that, if I put that to me, then it's like, I don't know what's about to happen. Like, because I'm sitting there doing a bunch of stuff I don't want to do. If I do the things I don't want to do for me, then I don't know what my house going to look like. Or I don't know what my life going to look like, just because I'm doing the things that you don't want to do. And you don't want to do them just because it's effort or it maybe seem like too much or whatever. But I feel like that's how I manage that. It's just like being okay with doing things I don't want to do, just because I know at the other side of it is something, like washing the dishes. You don't even want to wash the dishes, but as soon as you start washing that first dish, it's like you in the groove now. It's like, I'm in washing this until somebody throw a dish in there while you washing it. Then now you feel some type of way. So like,
I love
stuff
that.
Like that
Was confirmation for me. Reggie, you talked about God, being your center and your first. And so I've been having a lot of talks with God this week. And I promise you, I have used the analogy of the gym so many times this week. So that was confirmation for me. It was a word that I needed to know that I'm on the right track. And God put y'all here today, just at the end of my week. I was like, thank you. Thank you, Lord. You've been giving me that word. And that was just confirmation of what I already know to be the truth. And a lot of people aren't willing to put in that work every day, doing the tasks that they don't necessarily want to do. You also said another word. And when I left corporate America, I was like, I'm going to invest in me. If the billionaires trust me to do this bidding for them, and this work for them, and they trust me to do it, and I'm doing a damn good job for them, what can I do for myself? And I mean, all of that was just a word. All right, Reggie, it's on you now. What you got to answer that one? I'm just saying.
Just to
you laid that down.
Piggyback off that real quick, even if it's not for yourself, it's just somebody that you actually mess with.
In
like
one bill.
Your
That's
people,
right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't got to necessarily
absolutely.
be for you, but just something like somebody somewhere where you feel like you're being used properly.
Oh, yeah. And those are my clients now. I mean, I still work with those big brands, big corporations, the largest in the world. But, man, the executives that I get an opportunity to serve and build their visions and their dreams when they come to me with something because they trust me and I care about them and I care about their vision and I want to help them to bring it to life. You're absolutely right. Now it's just different, right? Because I like them. I want to work with them. I want to build them up. All right, Reggie, what you got?
I mean, personal growth is an everyday thing. One of my favorite things, when I purchased my first home, my mom gave me this little picture and it said, God makes things possible. He didn't say it was going to be easy. So it's possible, but it's going to take the work. Like, you can ask Nooch, I'm always in there, like, when you see me on set, I'm moving. And I think that just keeping that energy up, like he said, going to the gym, it's not like you can just do it the one time and that's, you're there. It's a continuous thing. People have this misconception, like, that success is like, you reach a point and then you stay at that point. It's not what you cop, it's what you keep. And it's also about making that your reality, making that your norm, that I'm going to have to invest in this every day, every hour. I'm gonna have to invest in the way my relationship with God. If you are a person of faith, you gotta invest in the way you take care of your body and the way your mindset is. You gotta stop thinking in childish ways. When you grow, it's like, all right, I can't. When I get mad about something, I just can't go lose it and just flick off on everybody. I gotta be, come with a calm heart, calm demeanor, and think through it. Be logical in the way you do things, and just constantly think, how can I do this better? How can I bring more of me to the table, and how can I do that in a way that doesn't feel like I'm taking away from myself, but everything that I'm doing is adding to me, is adding value to me and what I bring to whatever situation I touch, and just making that a lifestyle, not just like, oh, I gotta put this effort into doing this thing. Nah, my lifestyle, my character is somebody that's gonna get it done and be like, one of our favorite sayings is being solution based. I just had a client that I was working with, and she was like, oh my God, I can't do that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. How can we get to the solution?
Yeah.
And let's focus on the solution.
Yep.
So it's always that. It's always putting that effort into just managing your expectations and understanding if you're not putting the effort in, what you expect? What you expect? What do you really plan to get out of this if you're not willing to do the work? There is no shortcut. People on the outside looking in might be like, oh damn, they blew up overnight. Man, I done lived 10,000 lives. Noochie been doing this for 10 plus years. Everybody on our team has been in doing what they do respectively for at least a decade. It's not overnight. There is no shortcut. You gotta put the boots to the ground. You gotta, from soup to nuts.
Gotta put that
Soup
work.
to nuts.
You gotta put that work in. Everybody not willing to put the work in, period, point blank. Back to your, like, everybody just can't be a part of it because everybody ain't willing to put the work in.
I always got told to have a plan B as well, which is like not good advice to me. So
you don't do plan B's. It's plan A.
For what? That sounds like somebody else playing.
That's right.
My name Antoine. It's plan A.
Hey man, I don't have plan B's either. Like, my stuff gotta work, and I'm gonna believe in it until it doesn't. I'm gonna put the work in to get it to where I see. But I have vision, so I'll see where I want it to be, where I want it to go, what I expect to get from it. And then I think, when you talk about the question mark, like, I think there are times where I saw the vision, we got there, and then even then there's some things about it that I wasn't even expecting, right?
Well, the plan A is not always. It could be, you don't know if it's going to be a capital A or lowercase a. It could be a cursive A.
What's the difference?
A Roman numeral A.
What's the difference?
I don't know. It's just not what you expect.
It's just not that.
It's still what it's still what you were working towards, but it's not what you expect. They say, tell God your plan and watch them laugh.
Yeah.
So it's like there's always something for something. They say practice make perfect,
Do
but
you
ain't nobody
believe in
perfect.
fine-tuning that plan when you get in? You kind of manifest it. You see, it's like this vision is happening. Do you believe in fine-tuning it so it's not a plan B?
For sure.
But you're, okay.
Well, you get a house, like you buy a house, and you got all the furniture in there, and you like it. You've been living there for like a year or two. And you want to remodel it. And you want to change the furniture.
Perfecting it along the way.
You got to when you bought it, the basement wasn't all the way done yet, so now you still got to do that. So it's still like a lot of things. The garage ain't right. It's still a lot of things that can be worked on. So I'm a firm believer of nothing is. There's always room for improvement.
Absolutely, areas of growth.
They said it's the biggest room is room for improvement.
The biggest room is the room for improvement. Come on, that's a good one. That's going for staff meetings. I might open up with that going forward. I'm just saying. Okay.
I got that. I took that one.
You took that? Oh, that came from somebody else. That was a good one.
That one was took.
That's a good one. I like it. I like it a lot.
Scene.
You gave us a lot already. I'm very excited. I'm going to be bringing this up in our meetings. I'm going to be like, I'm going to quote you. I'm going to say, Noochie said. So when I open with that call, I'm just saying. All right. So on our podcast and in my writings, I talk about my 4 C's of manifestation. So as you heard, my goal with this podcast is for people to be able to take notes, to actually go from dreaming to doing in their lives. And I really want our stories to inspire people to take action. And so I walk them through our 4 C's. So crystallize is the first phase. This is where you're like seeing your vision and your dream clearly. It's in sharp focus. And then we go into customize. So customize is where we actually create a plan. So I'm big on smart goal setting. I'm big on having a goal and then an action plan. I'm big on my calendar looking like what I want to manifest in my life. So that means that I have these actions. It's on my calendar. It's a reminder. And I'm actually getting these things done, right? And then I have the cultivate phase, right? So getting the power of doing and not just dreaming. So it's where you're showing up at the gym. I got to meet my trainer. I'm going to be with him at 3:30 today. He pressing me out. What time you going to get here? Because physical body's on my goal this year. And so it's cultivate, and it's the phase where I find most people quit because you actually got to put in the work to get it done. So you got this beautiful vision. You've got these great SMART goals and this plan, and then you actually have to do the work. And then the 4th C is curate, where we talk about fine-tuning along the way, right? So you got this beautiful vision, you got this plan, you actually doing the work, but maybe, as you would say, the basement not done yet, I really want to remodel this kitchen, maybe, it's not the way, I really want it to be, or I want to fine-tune it along the way. Which C do you find that you have mastered and you're getting it done and you're doing it, and which C do you feel like is the area of growth for you?
Is the first C?
Crystallize it, where you can see that vision clearly.
That one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I could do.
You do that well, or that's the area you growing in?
Nah, that's what I can see.
You can see.
I see already.
You got vision.
Like what is even for people, like if I don't really know somebody like that, and I just meet them and I see like what their little attributes is, man, you could be something. Like a coach. I could find them. I see if they had all they life together, if they had everything together, I could see what you could be. And even like there's people like that I work with like that. That's part of like my. It's funny, like part of me wanting to succeed with people is to see if that's what they're gonna look like when they successful. Like if that's what I'm saying, to see if what I'm talking about is right. So it's like I gotta help get to this point in order for that to even happen. So that's me cultivating, or like there's other things. So I think the last one is the one that.
Curate, fine tuning.
Yeah, it's fine tuning because I also do that, but it's like that's not like it's never done. Like if you're working on something like an artist, you could work on it forever. Like it'll never be done.
They told me I can't do nothing else to this book. They said that's it. You're not gonna touch that book again. That book is done. Leave it alone.
It's an
Let
autobiography.
It go.
Is it? What is
no, it's the workbook for blueprinting, which we have multiple editions. But the final one is pretty dope. I think I get.
Are y'all gonna add anything to blueprinting at any point?
Yes,
so
blueprinting.
It's gonna be another
it
book.
lives. It goes on.
I'm saying, so the book going to like when do it stop?
Like I can't stop. I mean, we got affirmation cards, we got prompt cards, like we got a whole situation happening. And it just don't stop. We're gonna keep it going.
Yeah.
What about you?
I have a great gift of discernment. Customizing is we think well on the fly.
Crystallize is where you see it. Customizing is where you create plan. Cultivate is doing the work.
Cultivate is
and good. Curating is where we're fine tuning and making sure that it's kind of sharp and the best.
I feel like I'm good at all of them, honestly. And I say that because I know I'm capable. I know I'm capable. It's only when you start doubting yourself when it becomes a problem. It's only when you don't manage your expectations when it becomes a problem, because like both of you said, it's always a constant. It's always constantly evolving. It's always a thing. Like, I don't believe that any of those things is a weakness. It's just an area to invest time into. And it like, just like anything that matures with age or ability, it's not all encompassing. Sometimes, okay, the crystallization is good to this point. Now, what do we see going from this point to the next point, is the vision as clear, or do we need to do some more customization and curation right now? So it kind of is an ebb and flow to it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm so thankful to be able to do what I do with the quality of people that I do it with, the character of the people I do it with, and I believe in myself. I'm a big fan of me.
I see. I like that though. You got to be a big fan of you to get it done. You
Because
do.
the world will tell you you ain't nothing if you let them.
Or try to hate.
Or try.
Or just whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I'm invincible. I feel like I'm the strongest person. I don't feel like there's nothing that can beat me. It's just I'm a child of God. Why should I fear anything if I believe God is the Alpha and Omega and He created all things? What is everything else that comes is beneath Him, so I'm not worried about it.
I love that. Okay. So let's jump into and talk about the role of community and legacy. I really love legacy projects. I like to create history. Those are kind of, for me, some projects that I get very excited about, whether it's like the inaugural, the first of, or the 50th of, or whatever. I really like when we can create something that is sustainable and impacts and benefits the community. So let's talk a little bit about Front Porch. Let's talk about the community that you all have created, and then ultimately the legacy that you, and I don't want to say you want to leave, because ultimately, again, I like creating stuff that's sustainable. But like when you think about Front Porch and the legacy, what do you all think about? What do you think about community and legacy?
Well, personally, the house that the Front Porch sits on was purchased by my parents. And my dad has utilized that to be the studio. There's been many artists, whether it be Shy Glizzy, Fat Trail, and I've seen Paul Wall, like Juicy J, and Gucci. Like, I've seen a lot of people at this house before it was considered the Front Porch. It was already that. It was already something, a place that people familiarized with being special. So my dad is incarcerated now, and when he first got incarcerated, he wanted to sell the house to help, to help financially with his kids. He's got 5 kids, and that he wanted to help take care of, but unable to. So the first thing is sell this asset that I obtained to financially help them. But me, I'm like, nah, everything costs too much. Like, we can't sell this. Like, we're gonna figure it out. Don't even trip. Like, everybody gonna be taken care of. We got you. Don't worry about it. So, like, that's, like, the legacy was already before. Like, all these conversations I had before is considered the Front Porch. Like, I was doing the freestyles at this time, but when I was doing it like that, all you could see was brick behind me. You couldn't tell I was actually on the porch. You didn't know where I was at. So when I backed the camera up, it was like, consciously, as an artist, like, I always felt like the best artists are people that you never had to meet, but you feel like you know. So I feel like it's a certain level of transparency in their music or just with their artistry that they have. So I feel like for you to get to reach maximum altitude as an artist, you need that. So, because, like, that's what everybody got. And I felt like me backing the camera up and showing the whole house as opposed to just showing this brick, it was like, because in my head, I'm like, there's been a bunch of people over here. People gonna know where this is at when I back this camera up. But it's like, what they just gonna pull up over here? Like, what's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm over. I ain't got nothing. Like, I'm over here rapping. They gonna come up here and do. So it was just like, just putting the same work, and then I seen happening over there. It was like, all right, this is house has been made for work. Like, it was a family house. It was probably what the goal was at first, but somehow this has turned into a workhouse. Because even when we wasn't living there, it was like, we still had the spot. It was a studio, or it was rented out, or it was something. So it's always been around. So it's always been like, the legacy has always been this place of, like, almost like a safe haven, or like a place of celebration, place of growth. It's always been that prior to it being the Front Porch. So now it's like, when you got, I just had these A-list artists, these celebrities that, like, used to dealing with, like, people at their hands and feet at like the finest venues in the world are coming over here and doing the same thing that they would do at them places, and leaving and leaving feeling good, talking about they love what we doing over here. And it's like, just us. And it's kind of unbelievable sometimes, but it's like, also like, nah, this place always been that. Place like, and everybody don't know that necessarily. That even some of the people that's on the porch, like everybody ain't been there since that's like '04, since they had that jump. So it's like a long time. You just got back from Atlanta. We was in there doing everything. Like the police done ran up in there. I shouldn't even be saying that, but stuff like that. Like it's for it to be what it is now.
Like there you go. It's a community.
It's not, and what it represents now. It's like it's so for it to be built off of that and to be embraced by, like we just had a Rolling Stone article. We don't have no PR, we don't have no publicists. We on the news all the time. We got the Kennedy. Our first live show was at the Kennedy Center in D.C. And this is like where they do the Mark Twain Award. This is like a prestigious place where they don't allow just something that a dude with freestyle on his porch just have a whole show. So it's like the as far as legacy, if it was over right now, I feel like it's, you know what I'm saying, it's enough. But back to the question mark. I ain't know this was gonna happen. So I don't know what's gonna happen after this. So I'm looking forward to whatever people deem the legacy to be by the time the legacy is supposed to be told about what it was. But just for me personally, like it's like it did it already. Like,
more greatness. That's what's in store. More greatness.
You say legacy, like Nooch said, it's a lot of legacy in the house. I feel like areas have a certain energy. I feel like my family, my background comes with that same type of energy of passing down the knowledge. I think what the Front Porch is doing that has not traditionally been done in this area is bringing people together. Like we had a lot of the elder statesmen of DC artists come on. We've had the new guys, the young guys, and I think that legacy of just showing collaboration and people working together is changing the narrative. I believe the Front Porch is going to bring a narrative of a new legacy, a reconstruction of the way people look at this area and how we work together, and we're going to evolve and evoke a sense of camaraderie that's never been seen in this area. I think that's going to be the legacy of the Front Porch, and I think that that's the community that we have around us and what we're creating together.
That was beautiful. All right, so it has been an honor and a privilege to have you join me on our podcast. And one of the things that I always like to close with is, what would you tell someone listening that is inspired by your story? Like, what's your word of advice, right? What's your word of your last message, if you will, to these listeners listening in who maybe want to go from a dreamer to a doer, who has an idea and a vision, and maybe they haven't taken that first step yet? Like, kind of, what's your words of advice that you would leave the audience with before you leave us today? Reggie, we can jump here.
Listen, have a blueprint. Also, don't be afraid to fail. Don't try to wait till it's all perfect. You did everything. Jump in there. It's okay. As good as it look, y'all don't see what we go through in the editing process. Y'all don't see what we go through with just things that happen on set. What the key is to push through. The key is to get started. The key is stop thinking about it and do something about it. It's good to have a blueprint. However, effort has to be put into it. Faith without works is dead.
Don't mess up your for sure. Try and get some more.
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
Say, don't mess up your for sure. Try and get some more. That's it.
Don't mess up your for sure trying to get some more. We talk about that all the time. We got to appreciate what we have and be thankful for it and grateful. Okay. The other piece that's really important is how can folks, support the work you're doing with the Front Porch? Who are you looking for in terms of partnerships, sponsorships? Talk a little bit about how we can support you with the Front Porch and the work you're doing.
Hey, we just looking for anybody that identifies what we're trying to do and actually gets it and fully supports it, fully understand what we come from, whether somebody that's a part of our community or just understands our community, because that's what it's all about. I feel like whenever the goals are aligned, we may have different ideas, but if the goal is aligned, we can communicate to get it done. So I feel like anybody that identifies and understands that we're here to establish a certain type of business in DC, in the music industry, in the entertainment industry, a certain level of professionalism when people see us and know what they're dealing with. So that's pretty much it. We just looking for people that can get that, not come in and try to change what we doing, not come in and try to overhaul what we doing, but actually be a part of it because it's something they believe that they can help win, and it benefits everybody involved. That's really it.
I love that. Okay, Reggie, you had anything more to add?
I would just want to say the type of people we looking for, like Nooch said, people that see the vision, people that understand it, people that want to make a significant sponsorship towards it and see the results that we can reap. I feel like the Front Porch is more than just a music platform. It's a lifestyle. Like, just the way we do things is like, this is real life. This is the Front Porch. This the significance of itself is that we're home. This is how we're moving in our home, in our community. And I think that the larger companies would benefit well from being related to the everyday work, the home, the community. So when people see their brands aligned with us, an organic and homegrown vision, I think it would add something for their interests and their purposes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so their brand. Okay, we
Yes,
love
indeed.
it. Well, I love that. So, and we'll make sure that we are, telling our listeners where they can find out more, where they can learn more. And I'm sure you want to tell them how they can reach out if they want to learn more about Front Porch and they have like a sponsorship opportunity. They want to sponsor it, they want to be a part of it, and they want to see their logo and or shout out
For sure.
their brand.
First of all, y'all can follow us. You can follow me at Noochie Music on everything. Noochie Front Porch on YouTube. Hashtag Front Porch Freestyles to find all. You might find my first freestyle all the way up to the latest thing, because there's one more thing. That was when I started the Front Porch Freestyle. We did a hashtag of Front Porch Freestyles, and people usually do hashtags to get attention. I did it just so we could keep track of when it started to where it's at now. So like, you just click that hashtag and just go on a journey, and you can just get lost. And if you want to reach out to us, frontporchfreestyles@gmail.com and talk business. We got a whole team of people that's just ready to execute, ready to get it done.
I love it. Well, thank you.